Imagine the Roman Empire at its height, stretching across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, ruling more than 50 million people under one system of law, one military machine, and one culture that blended ideas from Greece, Egypt, and beyond. They built aqueducts that carried water for miles, roads that connected the entire known world, and monuments so durable that many still stand today. They left behind laws, architecture, and culture that shaped our civilization. Yet despite all of this, the empire collapsed. It fractured, weakened, and eventually dissolved into chaos. But what if Rome had something the modern world is only beginning to understand: artificial intelligence? Could AI have changed the destiny of Rome and prevented its fall? Or would it have accelerated its destruction? To answer that question, we must first look at what Rome really was. Rome was not just an empire, it was a living organism. Its strength came from its army, its wealth, its trade, its politics, and its culture. But its weakness came from within. Constant political instability, corruption, overextension, economic troubles, and reliance on conquest. The empire seemed invincible, but in reality, it was fragile. Imagine for a moment if Rome had access to the analytical power, predictive modeling, and machine learning that AI offers today. How would that have transformed politics, the economy, the military, public health, and society itself? In politics, Rome was plagued by assassinations and conspiracies. Emperors rarely died of old age. Many were murdered by rivals, generals, or even their own guards. Civil wars broke out repeatedly, draining resources and splitting loyalty. With AI, these patterns could have been detected. Imagine algorithms scanning correspondence from every province daily, detecting unusual movements of troops, secret meetings, or coded language in letters. Machine learning could predict which generals were likely to revolt or which senators were plotting treason. I could have warned emperors before rebellions ignited, allowing them to neutralize threats early. Instead of decades of bloody civil wars, Rome might have enjoyed centuries of stable leadership. The economy of Rome was vast but unstable. Conquest fueled its wealth, but when expansion slowed, so did revenue. Inflation crippled its currency, and over-reliance on slave labor limited innovation. AI could have radically changed this. Predictive models could have forecast inflation long before it destroyed the algorithms could optimize trade routes across the empire, directing goods from India, China, and Africa to where they were most needed. Tax systems could be adjusted fairly, reducing unrest among the poor while maximizing state revenue. AI could identify corruption, preventing governors from stealing wealth meant for the empire. Imagine an empire where famine was prevented because AI predicted crop failures months in advance, and resources were shifted to prevent starvation. The economy could have thrived instead of collapsing. The Roman army was the backbone of the empire. Discipline, training, and organization made it unstoppable for centuries. But even Rome's legions could not prevent the empire from being stretched too thin. AI could have changed that. Imagine real-time battlefield intelligence. Drones do not exist in ancient Rome, but an AI analyzing scout reports, terrain, and weather could simulate outcomes instantly. Generals could see the best strategies at a glance. Supply chains, often the weakness of any army, could have been optimized so that food and weapons always arrived where they were needed. AI could have predicted barbarian invasions by analyzing migration patterns of tribes, preparing Rome before enemies even crossed the borders. The crushing defeat at Adrianople might have been avoided. Battles that shaped history might have ended in Rome's favor. With AI, the Roman legions could have remained nearly invincible. Public health was another weak point. Plagues ravaged the empire, killing millions. The Antonine Plague in the 2nd century and the Plague of Cyprian in the 3rd devastated populations, weakening armies and economies alike. AI could have tracked outbreaks, predicted their spread, and organized quarantines. It could have analyzed herbal medicines and treatments, identifying the most effective ones, and spreading that knowledge across the empire. Epidemics might have been contained, saving millions of lives. A healthier population means more soldiers, more workers, and more stability. Rome could have been far more resilient. Society itself could have been transformed. Rome faced unrest from poverty, food shortages, and corruption. AI could monitor prices, supply chains, and social sentiment. Emperors could know when the people were close to revolt and take action before riots broke out. Imagine an empire where emperors actually understood the mood of the people in real time, rather than being surprised by rebellions. The government could have been more responsive, more effective, and more enduring. But the most fascinating question is, what if Rome had survived with AI? The Dark Ages might never have happened. Knowledge from Greece, Egypt, and Rome would never have been lost. Imagine the Renaissance happening 1,000 years earlier. The Industrial Revolution could have begun in the year 500 instead of 1750. By the Middle Ages, humanity might already have discovered electricity, steam engines, or flight. By our time today, we might have had space travel for centuries. Imagine standing under a Roman flag, not just on Earth, but on Mars. I could have accelerated human progress by centuries, perhaps even a full millennium. Of course, there is another side to this question. What if AI destroyed Rome faster? Technology is never neutral. It depends on who wields it. Emperors might have used AI for total surveillance, crushing freedom and sparking rebellion. Citizens might have revolted against a government that controlled them too tightly. Political rivals could have hacked or manipulated AI systems, spreading false information faster than Rome could react. Enemies like the Goths, Persians, or Huns might have gained access to AI, using it against the empire. Over-reliance on machines could have made Rome weaker, not stronger. Instead of saving Rome, AI might have accelerated its collapse. And this brings us to the heart of the matter. AI could have given Rome incredible tools, smarter strategies, more efficient economies, stronger armies, healthier societies. But AI could never change human nature. Greed, ambition, betrayal, corruption. These were the true causes of Rome's fall. No algorithm can erase human flaws. Even with AI, the empire might have destroyed itself from within. So what if the Roman Empire had artificial intelligence? It could have created the most advanced civilization in human history, perhaps still ruling the world today. Or it could have collapsed even faster, consumed by its own ambition and mistakes. The question remains, can technology save a civilization? Or does every empire carry the seeds of its own destruction, no matter what tools it holds? Now it is your turn. Do you believe AI could have saved Rome, or would it have destroyed it even faster? Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more explorations of history, technology, and the fascinating ways they intersect.